Welcome to Ethereum Cat Herders meeting 63. So I have shared the agenda in the chat, but before we go ahead with the agenda item, we have one new member joining in. Shilpa, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Pooja. I'm Shilpa Karkera, the founder and CEO of Myra Technologies. We've been a cutting-edge company for AI and blockchains, and from heart, I've been always a technologist who's been developing things hands-on. So happy to be here, trying to add to the community. And I've been working on blockchain since the very start, and I've been following Ethereum from 2015. So look forward to contribute more effectively with you all, and thank you for having me here.
Thanks for the introduction, Shilpa. Do I hear that Eon blockchain? So I'd be curious to understand what brings you to the Ethereum community. I mean, obviously, I'm very, very happy that you're trying to explore different blockchains, but yes.
Yeah, so I've worked on blockchains from scratch as well. Like we've developed our own blockchains, using our own methods as well of various different consensus algorithms. However, Ethereum it's changing, and this change is what brings me here. And I've hands-on experienced the industrial challenges when it comes to stakeholdership. And I'm aware of various different industries across like maritime, oil and gas, and supply chain. So wanted to ensure those learnings can be leveraged for the sake of community as well, and we can shape the product, the blockchain better as well. So that brings me here. And I'm also the author of Unblocking Blockchain. So I am also writing out things, and I'm putting out for more educational awareness as well. So hope to amplify that as well from this community to the rest of the world. So that brings me here, Pooja.
We hope the same. Thank you so very much for joining us in the meeting today.
Thank you.
Moving on, the first item on the agenda is the ECH website. We are joined by Michael from the Anvatica team. Michael, if you would like to go ahead and provide the updates. I'm sorry, Michael, you may be on mute if you're talking. We can't hear you. Looks like some microphone issue with Michael. We'll come back to this item maybe later on. The next one is meeting notes and action item for the ECH. We have meeting notes submitted for all core dev meeting 17, ETH2 implementers meeting 68. Notes are linked in the agenda item itself for people to refer to. EIP meeting 37, we had like very small meeting, a quick one. Unfortunately, we do not have the recording for it. So we'll try to cover the important part in the next meeting. Next sub-item is ECH engineering. I see Alita on the call. Alita, if you would like to go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, sure. So actually, let me go ahead and pull up what I'm working on this month. Just want to see my issues. In any case, okay, so I'm going to be working on like building tests for the EIP bot, supporting multiple files, adding asset management to the bot, investigating and fixing a bug that was found. And then there were a couple other things which are like the banner for the EIP website for EIPs. And then also there was one other one, which is the bot for marking EIPs as stale. And so I'm curious what you all think in terms of the priority, because like, I could put off the bot until kind of the two major projects of the banner and the stale bot are finished. But yeah, what do you think?
So about the banner, I think someone has submitted a pull request 4 days ago. I have I can see the link in that issue, and that seems to be a good one, and it has already gotten approval from one of the EIP editor. We are hoping Micah or Lightland will even have a look at it, and that might be approved. So we can drop off that task, and the stale bot thing, that is still there. But again, that is not on a very high priority as per my understanding. it's up to you. How do you want to like take it up, like the other regular ongoing? Because I believe if the bot is not calling EIP editors, that would take precedence over the stale EIPs.
Okay, I will fix that then. And then continue on. So so the current plan then would be fix the bug, stale EIP bot, and then get back to the other outstanding bot stuff. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right, looks like Michael's mic is better now. Michael, if you would.
Yep, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. Yes, so the website update. So what I first want to do is address and go over what had happened in the previous weeks in terms of the ECH website outage. So just a little bit of background on Unvetica, the company itself. Previously, we would self-host in our office on a small stack of servers. We've since upgraded and built a data center here in Mesa, Arizona. The actual facility itself was going under some AC upgrades, and the power was cut and we were not notified of that. Due to that unexpected power outage, there were a few disks that ended up being corrupted because of the power, and we had to rebuild the server. So that was why the ECH website had been down for a little while and inconsistently up. So what we've done is we've since rebuilt that server. We've also added some additional UPS units, and we've coordinated with the landlord in terms of notifying us as to when work is done as well. So in terms of preventative measures, we feel much more comfortable and confident that this should be mitigated going forward. So that's what's going on with that end of things. In terms of actual updates to the website, the outstanding issues, I believe there were 7 of them total on the GitHub repository, have all been completed and resolved. The pull request has been sent. Pooja did merge that in, and that has been deployed. So it should have the most current version of the website. Just to reinforce the workflow again, because this really has been the first time we've done this through and through, where we've supplied changes, you guys have reviewed, merged them, and then we've deployed them. So if there are anything that you have questions on, please let us know. Otherwise, I think we've pretty much got it down now in terms of if there are any issues going forward, please open up an issue. We'll review that, make the applicable changes, supply it via pull request, and then you let us know when it's merged in. We'll deploy that to be a live web server. I don't think there's anything else outside of that. If there's any questions, I'm open to answering them. Otherwise, I think we're all set on our end.
Yeah, thank you so very much for the update, Michael. I see that there are a couple of new categories that have joined recently. I am finding that on the latest video. So it's about the working group, the stateless Ethereum playlist. That may be something new that we have recently added to our collection. Maybe we would like to have a tab for that. And other than that, whatever new comes up, as you mentioned, that we would be following the process of creating an issue and let you know the appropriate link that can be added to the website.
Very good. Yep, we can do that. We can either do that as, you have to let me know, like if they're members or contributors, and then as long as the information is supplied via the issue, then we can more than happily update the website to reflect those additional members.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much. Anyone else has any question, comment on that topic? All right.
Actually, I do have a question, Pooja, now that you bring it up. It's not something that we've explicitly discussed as a group, but I'll just sort of give it to the group and you guys can discuss either here or on Discord. But the monthly fees that the ECH group is paying is really only for the hosting and maintenance of the website itself. I'm curious if there is any interest for assistance either in a full-time or part-time capacity for helping out with marketing and social media distribution, both from a like the actual campaign itself and also for creating the graphic assets and things of that nature. If that's something you're interested in, there's a couple things that we can probably propose, but it's just something I wanted to put out there now that the site is up and we have a development workflow.
Yeah, thank you for that. That is quite interesting. I would certainly talk to other members. Today I see a little low attendance, but I'll bring it up on the Discord channel and think about it. That is something that we are looking into. I'm not sure how much in pay capacity, but definitely we are looking for promotion of the tasks and the things that we are doing right now. We have onboarded one resource recently on that. But it is still under the scope. I'll let you know on the progress of it.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey Pooja, I had one question. Regarding the website, what's the key target? Like, is it maximum outreach, and like, is it the kind of audience that we want to reach from the website?
So this website at present, the way it is trying to provide most useful information around the development work being done on Ethereum 1 and Ethereum 2.0 chains. Other than that, any improvement proposals that is being considered by these devs, what are the plans for merge or any future upgrades. We're trying to provide the links to the resources that can be helpful for community to learn and understand in which direction Ethereum developers are thinking and the chain would be going to.
Okay, so it's about educating, basically educating what is going on in the community. That's the priority, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. I'll just look into it and come back with some inputs next time. Thank you.
On EIP, ERC editing, I think there is one meeting planned next week. In the last meeting, we went through a couple of proposals with the senior editor, Matt Gannett, the new EIP editor in training. They joined us and we went through the key points of how to do editing. We are expecting one more meeting and I hope that is going to be helpful. For anyone interested in EIP, ERC editing, please reach out to us and I'll be happy to include you to the group. Shilpa, I still see your hands up. Is it from the last conversation or you have to say?
Yeah, I'm just turning it down.
All right, I'm skipping ECH ops right now. I don't see Santosh on the call. About the new initiative, stateless meetings, as I just mentioned that we have added a new playlist of stateless meeting in which we had this, in the past 2 weeks, we had 5 meetings for ASE and all these recordings are available. So for the time being, this is under like very early stage of research. Developers are considering it. If you would like to understand the idea, the recording of the meeting is available and relevant documents are also available in the description section of the video. About the community partners and hackathons and events, the current partnership with the DevFolio at Odyssey is going on. Anyone interested to participate in the hackathon or to participate in the workshop being organized by them, feel free to reach us on the hackathon channel and we'll put you in touch with the right people to participate in. Any further update? William, I see you on the call and you have been working for the London upgrade, the playlist that we are considering to share with community to let them know which all proposals are going in. Do you want to share something about that?
Yeah, so I'm making 4 videos. I've combined the EIP 1559 and I think the other one that exposes the base fee to smart contracts as an opcode, that into one. I think I should be able to get it by tomorrow. The changes that you asked aren't big. There's also the NFT thing that you mentioned as like a potential way for us to do something interesting around that and to reward the people. William Schwab is working with an artist to do that. And James Hancock came up with the idea that perhaps we can also use it to fundraise, but I guess we'd have to see how much extra work that would involve, because if it's too much work, and then that might not be a good idea. But yeah, just some ideas that James Hancock raised.
Sounds good. William Schwab mentioned that he would be a little late to the meeting, but we may be expecting him by the end of the meeting. So if he has to add something, we'll look into that. I'm really happy to see the idea of NFT getting along. And if we get it through, that would be really nice to have it with the London upgrade. If not, then we will think of it, having it in the later part of the upgrade, like the March, or if Shanghai comes before that. Thank you so much for your work, William. On the item number 2, ECH blogs and survey, we have published 3 blogs in the past 2 weeks. One is Ethereum London Upgrade Community Call. We are planning a community call on the 2nd of October at 1400 UTC. So the invite to the community and the announcement, like the participants who are people who are joining us. The idea here is to bring all the EIP authors whose proposals are getting into the upgrade to come over on a call and share like a very brief synopsis of what the proposal is all about. And if there is any further question for those authors to understand why actually we are getting them included in the upgrade, we welcome all these questions. There is this Reddit post linked in the announcement blog where people can drop their question. Otherwise, they can also drop the questions on the Ethereum Cat Herders Discord. We have published the Ethereum Cat Herders update that includes the progress around all working group that is related to Ethereum protocol, Ethereum 1.0, 2.0, stateless meetings, EIP, AP meetings, and all other meetings. You can find on the latest of every development part in the Ethereum Cat Herders update. There is this post Cat Blazer Chronicle. It is started by William Schwab lately. In this post, he tried to mention the work that is a new initiative of Ethereum Cat Herders. He is leading the task and has reported what we have achieved in the month of June. For other people, if they would like to talk about their task and if they are doing something interesting that they would like to share with the community, I'll be happy to get them added to the Ethereum Cat Herders Medium. Reach out to us. The survey part, the Ethereum blockchain users developer survey, the survey is closed now. We have received close to 100 responses, which is pretty good. We are working on the report and we hope to share the report soon with the community. Any question, comments so far? All right. Moving on to the PEEP and EIP section. We have recorded a very, very interesting episode on a brief history of Ethereum's future with Benjamin Edgington. It's about Ethereum since the beginning to the Ethereum 2.0 and how do we see the future with merge and ahead. It's an interesting conversation with Benjamin with the prehistory part and how we are actually seeing the Ethereum 2.0 coming along. It's a good watch, and the recording is available at PEEP and ETH playlist at Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube. In the upcoming weeks, we have planned 2 special episodes for Ethereum anniversary celebration. One is the preparation of the March with Mikhail on July 27. Another one is about the block gas limit with Vitalik Buterin. We have seen a lot of conversation about these 2 major topics, and we thought that it's important for people to actually understand what is going behind the scene There are a lot of questions, a lot of confusion, and it's the opportunity to get them solved. So if you have questions, please let us know. We'll be happy to relay it to the guest, and we'll try to get as much as explanation possible for it. There are many more peeps scheduled, and you can follow the complete schedule list linked in the agenda item. All right. It seems like I am talking. If anyone else has anything to add on, please feel free to jump in.
You should watch Meet. Very good. I'm there.
Yeah, I just don't want to lose everyone. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, you still are there.
Absolutely.
So the next item is ECH Discord moderating and engagement. As we mentioned in the last meeting, that we are trying to enforce moderating with the help of bots, and there's this new channel verification. We have announced that people who are verified will be able to see the rest of the channels, and if people are not verified, rest all the channels will be not accessible for them after 1st of August. So if you are not verified, please go to the verification channel, click on the pinned message, and respond to the message. That's how you will be verified human, and then you'll be having the continuous access of the channel. Right now, we have not enforced it because we want community to have some time to understand what's going on, and they get verified in the meantime. There is this open task. We are continuously posting new task, open task with bounty, without bounty, where we need any kind of volunteers. Please give it a look. If there's something of your interest, do reach out to us. In the off-topic section, lately I have been adding few jobs opening. I saw few people reached out to us on ECH Discord looking for any opening for work. So we are continuously adding the working opportunity that is available with the Ethereum ecosystem in the off-topic channel. So please take it a look. About the ECH funding, yeah, I have some good news. We have already received the first tranche of ESP, and I have made all the conversion. Let me pull out the issue. I think it is closed. It's in the funding section. Whatever transaction we did, we have converted into DAI and USD. The details are already mentioned in the link. It's in the closed issue section. Other than that, there is this good news with Malak. Our grant has been approved. I will be in touch with those people to get it converted to currently it's in the wrapped app, and then it has to be moved to the multi-sig. There is some new process going on. It's going to be time taking, but I'm hopeful that we will be receiving fund by the end of July for sure. There's another grant that we tried that is from CLR.fund. It's quadratic funding and close to 500 USD. We have raised from the round 7. I have a meeting with one of the team members today, and I'll try to understand how does this work. Sorry, I made a mistake. It's not close to 500 USD, it's close to 500 XDAI. So I need to understand how that needs to be converted into DAI or USDC and brought back to our multi-sig. I'll keep everyone posted on that.
I can talk with you about that also if you'd like.
Oh, that would be really nice. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I only caught the tail end of that, but I would throw in also that I think something that we've discovered with Gitcoin, and I think is probably also true with CLR Fund, is a lot of it is about just kind of the optics, tweeting out about it beforehand, putting out some good content beforehand, and raising awareness about the fact that it exists, especially with CLR Fund, and the fact that we have a grant there that people can go to. I think if we do want to leverage these more,
moving forward, a lot of it is going to be around the social media aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree. The last Gitcoin round has been like a very good example for us, and we were in time will try to keep ourselves updated with the future grants that's coming up. All right, thank you, William, for joining. You are almost on time. If you would like, we can go back to your item and talk about the categories and stuff. If you have anything or any updates to be shared with us.
Yeah, sure. This month actually started off a little bit slowly. One of the things that I have been doing is towards the beginning of the month, Light Client did a bit of an EIP editor helper thing, like walkthrough thing that is probably going to be semi-recurring, like maybe once every 3 weeks, which was a big help in getting into just kind of looking at EIPs, reviewing, commenting, things like that. So I've been trying to put in some time with that. I spoke with someone from Status about trying to basically make sessions between wallet providers, middleware that sits in between apps and wallets, and dApps that need to integrate wallets in order to just basically try and discover major errors and also give people the kind of support they need, both in terms of creating good issues and streamlining interfaces between different wallets, different middlewares, and all of that, and between dApps that need support, getting different wallets to work with them. We've started some very, very rudimentary coordination work, trying to see who we're able to bring in there. So I haven't made a lot of progress with that yet, but I'm looking forward to trying to do some of that later. I've had a couple of like independent coordination things that right now I'd say are like too early to really talk about, that I've been working on recently also. And that's been the bulk of what I've been doing this month so far.
Thank you so much for the update, William. So there was this one other thing, William, Xuan was mentioning it earlier before you joined the meeting about the NFT that we are talking or considering for the London upgrade. Is there anything you would like to talk about?
I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up. I have found artists and am speaking with them. I did recruit internally from my workplace. If there are more specifics that I'm supposed to know, then we should coordinate on that just to like try and push that forward. But I do have a couple of artists who are interested and think that they can probably get something out in around a week. So in terms, just like I'd like to basically kind of nail down exactly what we're asking them to make, and various like, you know, any kind of requests for the actual specific art. But otherwise, I do think that connection is made, and I can bridge between you guys, or just be a part of the conversation myself, whatever's most useful.
Yeah, I think William Xuan has been looking into it mostly, and I'm talking to him with that. So I mean, I'm fine if to be included in the conversation with the artist and the James or whatever. So maybe we can talk offline about it and try to get in sync and get it done.
I don't think, and regarding like requirements, I don't think there are that many. Like there's a lot of artistic free reign. It just has to include like London upgrade and like Ethereum, and maybe ECH, throw ECH in there if you want to.
Mm-hmm. I assume also a 1559 reference, like maybe got some burning in there or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Thank you.
Still image, one image also. I mean, we can take this offline also, but like right now I've assumed still image and that there only needs to be one image as opposed to like different tiers or anything like that.
I have no like hard feelings about, or like strong feelings about it, maybe.
All right. So let's talk about it outside then. Like some of that might depend how it's going to who it's going to, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this more offline then.
All right, no problem. Okay, so we are getting closer to the end of the agenda item. Next is discuss and close the ECH GitHub issues. I see quite a lot issues here, but I think all of them have been addressed. Bounty for this and this, they have already done it. We just need to finish up with the payments of the bounty. Warning label, someone is already working on it, and that also seems to be in like the final stages. Once that is merged, I'm gonna close this issue. And that's all about it. I think rest all of them are ongoing basis. On funding side, I see a few funding issues open, which I'll try to at least initiate the transaction today so we can get approval from other multi-sig signers and get it closed. Moving on to the meeting notes side, I don't see any major decision or action items, just that going forward, different ECH working group will share reports in every meeting. That is nice to have, and I would like community to know about what we are doing here. We always try to share it with the help of newsletter, but this recording would be helpful too. Other than that, I'm thinking of leveraging this meeting to get more and more ideas and more, like, we know what we are doing right now and we are continuously talking about it. But if there is something new that people can think, even if it is not new, if there is some improvement that can be done in our present process, I would be happy to hear about that. So people, if you are listening and if you have suggestions for us, please reach out to us, leave a comment in the agenda item, or reach out to us on the ECH Discord. We'll be happy to talk about it and take it forward. So that's all. Yeah.
Are you saying that we can like just, is it like free talk right now, or are you saying that we should add that as a ticket item for next meeting?
I'm sorry, you broke for me, Alita. Can you please repeat?
So are you saying that like you're okay with us just kind of like talking about ideas right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do have time. If you have something to share, please go ahead.
Sure. So I see that Ethereum CAD orders in general has been kind of expanding its scope recently. I think that the recent confirmation of funding, along with just like kind of our initiatives growing, and I'm wondering, kind of from your perspective, Pooja, because you've, I mean, you know, you're kind of the whole organization, and so I'm wondering if like, you know, first off, you would like some help with that, and then also, like if we have a plan for sort of scaling the business process, so that way, like, you know, it doesn't require that you always be present, or something along those lines. I think if, you know, I think that might be a good next step in the growth process. But what do you think?
So I'm not sure about the business process. Do you mean by registering this organization, or is it something related to the process that we are following here?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like kind of the idea that there are jobs right now, there are like tasks that are not able to be easily like democratized, they're not easily standardized. So, you know, I think a good example of that is like leading people in AIP, leading these meetings. They're all kind of like dependent on you, Pooja, as I understand it right now. And so I'm kind of like thinking, is it time for us to begin thinking about like standardizing those processes or those tasks, and then like hiring people either as contractors or as, I don't know how much funding we have actually, but if we have enough, then like full-time people to kind of, you know, create more of a scalable like approach to the problem of project management in Ethereum.
Actually, if you don't mind, maybe I'll field this one. I don't think we have enough to bring in full-time members right now. On the other hand, also, just to maybe talk around that, if I'd have to summarize what you're asking for, so correct me if I'm wrong about this, it sounds like what you're asking for is bringing in additional people for internal ops. As in, there's a lot of internal work that gets done. It would be good to decentralize it. Speaking as someone who, I'm not so involved in internal ops, but I do at least have eyes on it to some degree. I can safely say that Pooja is doing more than one human being's work. So it's also about making that a more sustainable task set. Like, you're talking about something in that direction?
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like if if we want to continue expanding the scope, which is very exciting. Sort of how do we do that consistently, such that it's not burning out Pooja, and that all of us are kind of expendable to an extent.
So here's my my 2 cents on it. The Pooja, I'm actually very interested in what yours are, especially because the question was kind of directed at you, and I'm just kind of hijacking it. I think that the processes are a little bit more decentralized than people realize they are, even though Pooja is doing a large number of them. Many of them are documented, and the tools for a lot of them are not solely in her hands. So that does make space for additional people to be sort of onboarded into those processes, and also makes it likely that if for whatever reason, like there urgently need to be people on tasks, there usually are ways that that can be accomplished. This is a conversation that I think we should have at length, maybe in the Discord, or maybe even assemble a separate meeting for. Just because it's always good to have conversations around these topics and get as many things out in the open as possible. I don't think we're at a point where we could put in more internal ops paid positions. I do suspect that if we are able to grow our budget more, that what we will see is kind of a balance between internal and external ops, just to keep things kind of as streamlined as possible. If anyone is interested in volunteering for internal ops, incidentally, I think naturally the nature of internal ops is like, if you're someone who we've never heard of before and don't really have a network connection with, we'll probably want you to prove your worth for a while first. I don't think that we're like immediately going to say put you on the multi-sig or anything like that. But of course, anyone out there who hears this, we are very interested in any volunteers who would be able to help with internal ops. We're also interested in volunteers who can help with external ops, incidentally. I suspect that as time goes on, if we are able to grow the budget, and it looks like we are discovering more ways that we might be able to do that in terms of leveraging Gitcoin better and other grants that we can look at, that would be on the agenda. I just don't think we're there quite yet. But like I said, I'm actually really interested in what you'd have to say about that, Pooja.
Part of the funding part of it, I think, is kind of like, depending on how much we need, I don't think that it's necessarily out of the question to raise that fundraising question to our, to Moloch, or our other, grant fundraisers, or even the Ethereum Foundation. And it's kind of like, but I think it ultimately comes down to what's our pitch. And so I'm kind of trying to suggest that maybe like the next step would be maybe we don't hire on full time, but we kind of demonstrate that we are able to scale with more funding to kind of encourage an increased influx, if that makes sense. If that's the route that we want to go in general, which I don't actually know, but
maybe we can take on an like a paid intern or an unpaid intern. I know you can get quite a lot of interest from that, and we can also get someone who's going to be there for like quite a bit of time, right? Because you can specify how long the internship is going to be. I know there's quite a bit of interest in internships in the Ethereum ecosystem. I know the whodunit, the Index Coop internship, that had a huge amount of response. So I think there is quite a bit of demand for internships, and that's maybe something that we can open up.
That's a really interesting idea.
Especially for the intern, that's a very good point. But I do want to like point out that I think the first step would be kind of like just simply clearly defining the roles that we would want to fill, what the responsibilities of those roles are, kind of what the end-to-end process is, and sort of where we all fit in it, and where like if we want to say, hey, we want to hire somebody full-time that we're going to pay X amount of money based on like the averages in given amounts or whatever, like kind of having an idea for we want to hire this person, or for this role with this responsibility, doing this, and this is the job that they will do, and this is how it's going to help us scale. So kind of just like having a plan that's like really well thought out and discussed internally or externally, in terms of like what those roles would mean, I think is a good kind of first step to expanding and scaling. Assuming that, again, assuming that's what we want.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this discussion so far, William. Thank you for filling in. I would echo to William in a sense, like at the moment, we may not be looking for any full-time resources. We may not have that kind of budget funding as well as the task that we need to get it done. We are getting small chunks of tasks that we are trying to get done with the help of Bounty, that we open it as like open task. And maybe I'm looking forward to get more and more tasks from the projects or protocols to, you know, offload them and get it like completed. And for doing that, we may be using the route of Bounty. I like the idea of having internship very much. I know William himself is a intern for Nethermind, which is really good. He's trying to learn as well as contribute to the Ethereum ecosystem, which is great. That concept can be introduced here in the Ethereum cat herders. So I'm already talking to a couple of colleges, trying to reach out to their representatives who are doing some research on blockchain, and people, if they are interested, we can have them here, attract them to the Ethereum Discord. And then if there is any task that not only the cat headers, but any other project or people would want to take help for, they can post it here. And, you know, that's how we can start engaging community. Shilpa, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, I think in line with what you just said, happy to add to like more colleges, more universities who can, you know, come and actively contribute here. So I am on the educational board for a lot of universities in Singapore and India. So happy to make the introductions as well as automate any repetitive manual work that's there, because everybody loves to contribute, especially to open source. So I can enable that. If we identify repetitive work, I feel is meeting notes like a manual work that they're doing right now, or is it, are we using some tool?
It's manual, mostly.
Manual, right? So I think we can start like one, identifying the manual works that we have. And yeah, like I think I can definitely get the interns, or not interns, but I think volunteers to just actively help us automate these works. That's what I wanted to add as well.
That's so nice of you. Thank you so much for that. I would love to have that introduction. I have been knowing that you are with associated with some of the universities and colleges. That is going to be really helpful. We have a collaboration with team, which is there for organizing hackathon in India. So if we are getting in more touch of colleges and universities, I believe that we are going to engage more and more community people here.
Sure.
Maybe just to take the conversation back one step also, though, I think it is a really, really great idea to open up conversations about directions for expansion, what roles people think we need to have or should have, and what directions people would like to see the cat herders grow in. For people who are in the call right now, like Alita or William, I would suggest, why don't we use the Discord right now to kind of kick off like conversation about this. If it gets enough traction, I'd actually be interested in opening like a different meeting, kind of ad hoc, about cat herders expansion, like what the challenges are, what we might be able to do, how we might be able to do it. I think it would be a great conversation to have, and I am really interested in seeing what just like what people have thought of. And Alita, I think your point about clearly defining roles is very, very well taken.
Right, and just adding here, William Xuan, he has been talking to me about this, and I very much like the idea that we receive this people onboarding form. There are a lot of many people who are interested in contributing, but they do not know where to go, although we have this website where we try to provide the information where we are currently engaged with, but not the new area that we possibly could engage ourselves. So we may be having this idea of this ad hoc meeting that you just mentioned, William. Maybe we can add to those new people and invite them to share their thoughts and exchange how we can be more helpful, or what is the thing that they would like us to do or help out with.
A good idea. Are we able to also potentially get on people on our fundraising board, like people who are actually part of like Moloch or like Tim Bako? I don't know if he's part of Moloch, but because I remember Tim mentioned he expressed a little bit ago like about what he would like to see from the cat herders with respect to like, I think it was with respect to scalability. And so if that's kind of the, you know, the central point of that meeting, then having, you know, our stakeholders, both, you know, on the top end, funders, as well as who are doing the work, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
On the fundraising side, I'm just sharing my experience so far. I think this is how it has worked for me, and this is how I'm assuming that it would be working here, is that the funds are provided to the group and people who are continuously contributing. So for Ethereum cat holders, if we come up with something new, it may not be funded from the day one, but if that is something that is getting traction, I'm sure there would be more community who would like to support us. But I'm really happy that we started discussing this to have more and more ideas included. Sorry to cut you, Alita. You have to add something?
No worries at all. Yeah, I'm excited too. I think, I mean, I at least have a lot of ideas for, you know, the kind of the scope and the impact of the cat herders and what we're capable of, especially with Pooja's leadership. And so, you know, forgive me for pushing that, but I do think that if we kind of take a corporate, or not corporate, but like take a approach to scale, that we have the ability and the problem to solve to do so. And that was my closing statement. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So, I mean, obviously, we are a group of decentralized people. More people we have, more brains we have, and we have more opportunities to contribute to, and we can explore different ways to do that. I'm happy to hear all these conversation, and yes, we can continue discussing this in the Discord channel, and if we get more traction, we'll try to have a separate call other than this Ethereum Catalyst, like bi-weekly meeting. We can have an intermediate call and discuss more about it. All right. So I think we have almost covered all the agenda items listed today. Anyone else has to say or bring up anything? It was nice talking to everyone today. I mean, we had like quite a good conversation. We are trying to provide the updates as well as explore new areas to let people know, let community know what we are doing and what we can do. So thank you all for joining today. See you all in 2 weeks. Have a good one, everyone.
Thanks, Pooja.